Hello again, YouTube. It's me. I just wanted to show you how to create a multi-sound on this Korg DSS keyboard. I apologize for the shakiness. I'm trying to do my best. But yeah, this keyboard's a great little keyboard, but sometimes it's quite difficult to understand the architecture. Once you get it, it's a little easier and it seems a little bit more fluid. But even like this guy, this thing at first was completely overwhelming to me too. So just takes some time. I just started up the keyboard. I've got nothing loaded into it. No discs have been loaded. Nothing's going on. I'm going to create a multi-sound to show you how to do that with the Korg. So you pop in your disc. This is a new disc I'm working on right now called Vinyl Drums. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull the individual samples. I've already sampled, about 30 or 40 different snares and kicks and all that sort of stuff onto the disc. So I'm going to pull those individual samples on to the keyboard and map them across the keyboard where I want them to be and save it as a multi-sound. That would be a multi-sound which then later I can go in, create a program, create a new system, and create separate programs, each grabbing that particular multi-sound. So here we go. This is the basic way you do it. What you're going to do is you're going to go to multi-sound right here, and it says select 0 only because nothing is on the keyboard. There are no multi-sounds. So I'm going to select 0 and it's going to say get sounds, yes. Loop on, no, I don't want the loop on because these are drum sounds, so I'll hit no. I can use the data wheel, or whatever you want to call the sucker, data slider, to grab my different sounds. I'm going to just start with vinyl kick number 1. Takes a moment. Is this the one? Do you want to load it? Yes. So first you hit enter, then yes, then go again. Now it's asking where do you want it to be mapped? C3? Okay, that's fine. And the top note is C3, so it's not being pitch shifted across. It only goes down in pitch unless there's another sample beneath it. So, I'm going to take it from C3, I'm going to take it down to actually C2. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So that's the bottom note of the keyboard. And we can pitch shift it up a few or have it stretch upwards a few notes. Sometimes I like to do where they just pitch shift up a little bit. You can do it so that it's like maybe C and F or something like that. Or C and F sharp, excuse me. So this will go. And then I'll place a new sample right there. So cool, so that's good. Hit enter. Satisfied? Yes. More sounds? Yes. I'm going to it's going to ask for the disc. The same one's already in there. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to grab a snare now. That's fine. Grab it. Yeah, that's good. Is this the correct one? Yes. It automatically tells you that you're on F2. Right? And with the top note of F2, so it's not shifting it up in any way. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the root key up a little bit so that instead of being that F2, I want it to be a little lower in pitch. So I'm going to tell it play the original note on A sharp. So now I've got a lower pitched snare drum. Right? There we go. Satisfied? Yeah. More sounds? Sure. Let me do one more for you. And what I'm going to do is show you a little bit about this. It mentions this in the manual, but it's kind of confusing. If you want to create respectively 15 different samples down on this half of the keyboard and 15 different samples on the upper half of the keyboard, there's a trick to it, and it mentions it in the manual. What you do is you essentially lay out 15 different samples, and the 16th sample will be at the split point where you say I'm assigning a silent sample from here all the way to the rest of the keyboard, and that will be your bottom half multi-sound. Then you create a brand new multi-sound, which is your top half multi-sound, and the very first sample, the lowest pitch one, you say, I want it to go from the lowest key all the way to, well, actually to right there, so that this note can be the first sound that actually makes sound. So all of this is playing back in a silent sample on this multisound, and the rest of your multisounds, the other 15, are up here. Then when you play, when you program it, it allows you to have two oscillators or two multisounds at the same time. One multisound will be the bottom half, one multisound will be the top half. Anyway, so here's what I'm going to show you a little trick of that. I've already programmed in a silence. I'm going to grab that. It's like it's one sample long. Is that the correct one? Yeah. And it's going to ask me, where do I want to put it? Well, that's the last snare sample, so it's going to be right there. And if I want it to, I can extend it all the way up here, or wherever I want it to end. So I'll go ahead and do that and say I want it to end at B3 right there. There you go. I just dropped that in. Satisfied? Yes. More sounds? No. I'm good. One thing that you want to do is, if you've got, sometimes when there's lots of compression, sometimes you can hear it. I can't hear it right now, but it's a good idea to go in and take that silent sample and make sure that you tell its volume to be at minimum. So I'm still in multisound. You never want to get out of multisound, otherwise it'll cancel everything. I'm going to go ahead and select my multisound or sound, so that's number 1 there. Hit 1. Which sound do I want to do? If I press a key, it's going to choose the multisound for me. So that's the first sound of the multisound. The snare is the second one. You see how it just changed to 2. And the silence is the third one. I just pressed the key for the silence. That's good. Now I go over here and I hit relative parameters, number 2. The tune of that silence is fine. The level, that's what I want to change. So I'm going to page over, and I'm going to take that one down to 0. And the filter, this is your relative filter. I'm going to set the relative filter to be at 0 compared to everything else, or 0, 1. That's as low as it goes. So there we go. Now, the last thing I want to do, here's where I would save my multisound. So I'll hit 9, bam, rename it, sure, and I'll name it whatever. There you go. That's how you name it. You hit save, and it's going to want to save it to disk, which I don't want to do, but that's essentially how you create the multisound. And yeah, so there you go. Check out my other video. I talk about how to get the multisound off of the disk and how to create a patch from it and create a system from those multisounds. Yeah, this is for all you people out there who are interested in getting a DSS. It's a great keyboard. There's been a new release of an update which actually makes this thing pretty reasonable compared to modern samplers. It brings it up to 16 megabytes of sample time, and it has USB. Of course, it's still got its analog filters, 8-voice polyphony. It is monotimbral, but of course they're samples, so since you can lay out up to 30 samples across the keyboard, it's not really multi-timbral as much as you might think. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe that's in my future, getting one of those upgrades, because they're pretty sweet. Anyway, if you're thinking about getting one, I hope that helps you figure out what's capable with this keyboard. Cheers, and keep making good music. Have a good one. Bye. YouTube. Bye.